Okay, so let's talk about something that we all deal with. Getting to work. So I'm a school teacher. I'm a media specialist at a high school. I love being a media specialist. I love my job. But when I interviewed for this job, I knew this school was 25 minutes away from home. And that was really not, that was in the con column when talking about changing jobs. My previous job, my previous school was 9 minutes away from my house, and I honestly loved that. I loved being so close to home and getting in the car and not even worrying about the fact that I might have to go to the bathroom because it was 9 minutes. But 25 minutes is a different thing. It's a game changer. 25-30 minutes is about the limit of what I can do with my bladder condition in the car. The vibration of the car shakes you around. The anxiety of being in the car and not being able to, get up and go to the bathroom whenever you want to, creates anxiety for you. And so 25 minutes, I knew taking this job that 25 minutes was going to be like a challenge. And I practiced, when I was going to the interview and the couple times I had to go interview twice. So, I kind of was like scouting out the route, knowing that like I left early and had extra time, and going home, it didn't matter if I stopped. So I kind of planned a route that does take a few minutes longer than maybe I would prefer, but there are so many places to stop. It goes kind of through town rather than like I could take a highway that's like out and around. I could do that, but the highway has very few exits, and at the exits it's more like connections to other highways, not exits with stops. So I do take a route that is slightly longer, just because there's more places to stop. And I've done really well. I've worked at this school for a year now, and this is my second year at the school. I've done really well until about 2.5 weeks ago. So, because I've been doing this 25-minute drive for a year, our state librarians conference was hosted in the middle of October, and it was being hosted at this gorgeous hotel about an hour and a half away. And I was like, well, gosh, I've been doing so well driving to and from work. I can handle that. I'll just, plan to stop every 25 to 30 minutes, and I'll, get there, and it'll be fine. So, like, I used my little Google Maps. I looked at the exits, looked at what was there, and, what has clean bathrooms, what's going to be, all the important things. Clean bathrooms, easy to get to from the exit. You don't have to drive 3 miles from the exit to find the bathroom, right there. So I planned, and I drove 25 minutes, stopped, 25 minutes, stopped, 25 minutes, stopped. Yes, I did get a little anxious a couple of times, but I was okay. I had done I don't know if you guys have like coping things for long drives, but my coping things, if I eat, that helps. So if I had some like gummies that I was, kind of nibbling on, or if I take mints and like suck on the mints, that helps. And so I had done my little coping strategies. I purposely wore like black leggings, nothing, no belts, no zippers, no snap. Like I just wore black leggings and like a tunic top, tennis shoes, like super comfy, whatever. So getting down there was great, and it was at this like really nice hotel and conference center, and it was in a great area with like cool restaurants and like a nice mall, and it's a mall that I really used to like to go to before I was diagnosed with IC, and because of, you know, I really wanted to go. I wanted to hang out with my fellow media specialists. I wanted to, you know, get some CEUs, get to partake and whatever. Well, it was okay. Going down was okay. Coming back, the night before, I had to drive back, and I started getting anxious. Took some medication, and the next morning I was supposed to go to some morning sessions, and I was like, you know what? I'm already feeling anxious. I'm just gonna get in the car and go home. And so I packed up, got in the car, and was like, you know, I'm gonna be okay. I have my stops, I have my plan, and my gosh, things fell apart. The first 25 minutes, 30 minutes was okay. I stopped, you know, went to the bathroom, got back in the car, and then I was really anxious. Like my bladder was feeling full. The anxiety was just like, my heart was pounding, you know, all the things when you feel like you have to go to the bathroom. And so sometimes when I'm in the car, talking helps, right? So I called, my mom was retired, called her, tried to talk to her, and I at one point I thought I was going to have a panic attack. I was like, I am not going to make this next exit. Like, I'm barely going to get there. So I told her, I was like, Mom, I got to get off the phone. And the stop I had planned was you know, this restaurant I kind of wanted to go to, I'd never been to. But when I got to the exit, I just pulled into the first place I saw, because I was like, I'm not going to make it to this one place that I planned. I'm just gonna stop here. Like, I don't know. So I got out, went to the bathroom, and then the last 25 minutes was okay because I was back on familiar roads. I knew where I was going. I was, you know, back in sort of familiar territory where I knew what was at the exits and whatever. So got home, and I want to say for the next day or so, I just was really anxious. Like, my anxiety was just high. I took some medication to kind of try to bring it down. I told my family, like, you know, guys, I'm not going anywhere until, you know, tomorrow on Saturday. And I was like, okay, by Sunday I felt fine. And so Monday morning, get in the car to drive to work, and oh my gosh, all that anxiety from that trip came back. It was like my brain had just reset into the fact that 25 minutes was just too long, and that I was not going to be able and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I get on my way to work, I was just very anxious. You know, my bladder started hurting. It started, you know, spasming just a little bit. And I made it to work, but I felt like it was touch and go. I really did not want to stop. Even though there were places to stop, I really just did not want to stop, because it was like, I know I can do this 25 minutes. I do it all the time. Like, I can do it. But that trip really reset my anxiety about driving to work, and it's been hard the past couple of weeks, and there have been a couple mornings where I was just like, no, I can't do it. So I've called in sick once or twice and just been like, I can't handle it. So I don't know. What do you do? How do you handle it? Do you have any coping things for when you're driving? I would love to hear what those are. I will say my other coping thing for long trips and flying is I do wear a thicker pad than I normally do, and more a longer one, a thicker one, and so I had that on in case I had potentially some sort of accident or whatever, but luckily I was okay. It was just nerve-wracking, and and I told my husband, I was like, yeah, this is why I don't drive places that are more than a half hour away. I just can't do it. And our family Christmas is potentially going to be 90 minutes away this year, and depending on who's hosting it, and it just might not be, I might not be going, and that's okay. Like, it happens, and if you've lived with IC for a long enough time, sometimes you just miss out on things. So anyway, hope this brings you a little bit of comfort or advice or something. And I'm sure many of you have been in this position before, where it's just, you just are doing the best you can, trying to live your life, and but when you live with this condition, it's not always up to you. So, all right, talk to you again soon.